Good morning, everybody. My name's Taylor. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. Today we're going to be going over a used unit, but I'm very excited to be going over it. Every once in a while we get leisure travel vans, and this one behind me is a 2021 leisure travel van Wander, and it's the 24RL. So super spacious inside. I can't remember if it was 46 or 56,000 miles, so we'll double check on that, but relatively low miles, but they did use it. And let's go ahead and take a quick walk around that outside just because it is a little snowy, and then we'll kind of dive in deeper once we get inside. But let's go ahead and start over here. I do really like these latches just because they have nice little knobs on them to lock and unlock them. Open nice and easy and carpeted. And it kind of has a nice little curve here to kind of prevent any of the dust, rain to get inside. We got another smaller one here. Pretty heavy duty hinges. Right over here is just going to be our batteries and then our inverter, which is the 2000 watt Pure Stein inverter. We have two beautiful windows here. These two do open up in kind of the awning style, which you will have one on the other side as well, which gives you a nice little cross breeze, but just really opens up that bedroom area. I do have the generator running, if you couldn't hear already, but we have our Cummins own on, the QG4000. And then we do have our nice little propane tap here, so if you wanted to go ahead and have connect a barbecue, you have the option of using your propane that's already on board. All right, nice little glimpse of this rear, just a little blacked out. It looks like it's a huge window, but it's not. And then we just have our hitch here. We have the 5,000 pound, whoops, right over here. This is just what the previous customers had on it, but you do have your hitch and then your power here for your brakes, all ready to go for you. All right, and over here is just where our wet bay is. So as you can see, we have our exterior shower here, our Santa flush right over there. You can also turn on your water pump, and then the pull valves are over there in that corner. You do just have a nice little Tupperware to kind of hide any goodies in there, to kind of keep them from rolling around on the inside. Here we go, just another space here to kind of stow away some things. And then this is just, you can go ahead and open it up and pull it out if needed to kind of tie things down. Here is that propane hookup and fill. Right above this is we have our 30 amp shore power cord. I think it's kind of nice how it's more of a silver nifty look. It's not plastic, a little bit more heavy duty there for you. Kind of just looks like a bottle cap. Locks and unlocks, just a little nifty. We have our Truma Aqua Go for our tankless water heater, and then for that last compartment here, we do have our 30 amp shore power cord, and this is our biggest storage area for those little bit larger items. Alrighty. First little glimpse of the driving area. Again, this is on that Ford, but we have 25 gallons of gas. Ultra leather seats. They are all manual to recline and lean forward and back. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that hood really quick for you guys, and that will be the last thing we look at before we enter the inside. If I can get the latch, there we go. Perfect. There's that hook. Alrighty. Again, so this is on that Ford Transit dual rear wheel drive chassis. It's on that 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6 gas engine, 310 horsepower with 400 foot-pounds of torque, and it's a 10-speed automatic transmission, and it does have tow haul mode with a 250 amp alternator. And then we have our windshield wiper fluid here. Everything's pretty accessible and easy to see on that Ford chassis. It's a lot lower, so you don't really have to get on your tiptoes to kind of look at things. Then we have the coolant, our oil fill, and the dipstick is right over there. But let's go ahead and head on inside where it's warm and kind of dive into all the cool things Leisure Travel Van has to offer. Alrighty. Perfect. Whoops, I thought I left the lights on here. Let me go ahead and turn all these LED lights on really quick. Oh, the exterior ones don't need to be on. Perfect. Alrighty, one cool feature I really like is this table. You can go ahead and lift it up, make it a little lower if you need to, but I love how it unfolds, so you can kind of make it a little longer, and then when you have these chairs swivel, you can kind of rotate it and put it in between everybody, so you can comfortably seat up to 4 people and have a nice dinner or lunch, play cards, games. I love playing card games, especially when you get the family together. And this is kind of has another place for it. So right now, just for the purposes of space and for you guys really to be able to take in everything through a lens, I'm gonna go ahead and just take this off and set it over here on that other little booth we have, along with this. I was messing with it earlier and I forgot to lock it in here, so I'm just going to put that back really quick. There we go. Alrighty. Typically I start from the back, so sorry if I get myself all turned around here. But one thing I really did like and noticed when I came in here for the first time is with most other products, it's just a big dip right here. Leisure Travel Van went above and beyond and kind of made it a flat surface here, so it's a lot easier to kind of get in and sit down without feeling like you're dropping completely down, and just makes it really awkward. And it just looks beautiful and a little bit more elegant, especially when you swivel these chairs around. Kind of helps just to gracefully get in and out of your seat without having any interruptions. So I really liked that. Another thing I wanted to point out too is you have a nice little, instead of this being hollow, they kind of did a little cover here that you can unclip just to put some more storage as well. LED lights throughout the whole entire ceiling. Plenty of more storage up above here, so you can go ahead and access some snacks or anything that you'll need while you're driving. I love this like soft memory foamish kind of ceiling, padded ceiling. I don't know exactly what that's called, I'm sorry. And then here is just our control center here. I just pushed the home button, so we don't need our awning and porch lights on, but it kind of shows you a nice little overview of everything. So you can turn on that master light. Whatever lights were on before you turned it off, we'll kind of turn those back on for you. And then you have an overview of all the fresh gray and black tank. And then for those capacities, we are looking at, for the fresh water, we're looking at 33.5 gallons. For our gray, we're looking at 26.4, and then for our black is 35. Seems a little different, but they measure in liters, so those aren't half gallons and stuff like that. So it's just kind of how it worked out. Right over here is just all of our controls for the lights, so you can go ahead and turn those on and off. From here, we just have our auto generator start settings here too. And then we have our climate. So right now I do have our furnace on and I have our generator running too. And then you can go ahead and set your fan speed to auto, but it's kind of nice too because you have a heat pump as well. Sliding over here is just kind of an overview of all the settings. You can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, your network diagnosis, and then cleaning mode and all that kind of stuff to kind of deep dive and set it up to your liking. Alrighty, now that I kind of touched base on most of the things I didn't want to forget, let's go ahead and jump back here. Because you have a huge lounge area over here, and the ceiling height in this is about 6 foot 5 inches. So if you're a little bit taller, it should give you plenty of headroom here. And having just so much, I did write it down, the kind of width in here as well, just because I feel like you can't really take that in on the screen. But I mean, you could sit up comfortably maybe 4 depending on size, with some kids too, maybe 5 people in here. And then you do have your TV right over here as well, so it kind of makes it nice area to sit back, watch a movie. And then with these big, huge windows, more of like the dual window, gives you so much visibility to kind of take in the outdoors, but bring them inside as well. This is just a little curtain it comes with, so if you did want some privacy, because this also duals as your bedroom area, you can go ahead and button these up. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And then you can go ahead and use your MCD shade here to go ahead and black everything out to kind of give yourself some more privacy. Nice little storage compartment here, which would be a really good spot to either put maybe your cushions or your pillows, comforter, anything like that in there. This one might be a little too wide actually to put in there, but I will try. Yeah, it's a little too wide. And then we'll just kind of finish up the storage here up above. Whoops. There we go. It has a latch as well as a magnet to kind of help keep things tucked in. There we go. And it's kind of like a matte finish. It's not really glossy or shiny, so you won't really see fingerprints, which I really like as well. There we go. 2 more over here, and then that other window that's on the other side, which I briefly mentioned when we were outside. So you can get some nice cross breeze in here. You don't have to worry about starting firing up that AC to kind of keep it nice and cool. And then you do have some charging over here as well, so if you had any tablets or anything you'd like to charge, you can also have them where you're lounging. Nice little overview for your lights, so you can turn on and off the master lights. You also have your porch light, and then just your overhead bed lights. And then that table that I had and I was demonstrating earlier, you can also hook it on right here, so you can kind of have a nice little table that folds out so everybody can have somewhere to set their drinks, or if you have a snack or anything like that, you kind of have a table option back here as well, so you're not confined to only having one place to sit down and entertain. You can also come back here and have a little bit more. So I just love the versatility of this coach in such a small space. All right, now we're gonna have to move these cushions. But this Murphy bed situation is really awesome. One, because it's not electric, so you know that you kind of have that peace of mind. If anything ever happens to go wrong, then it's just easy to undo it. You have to push this button in, and then you have another little latch here. So this is going to be your travel mode latch, so this doesn't come down while you're traveling. I'm gonna awkwardly move this right here for now. And then I always like to put it back if it will stay. I don't want it to fall and then get in your guys' way. Okay. And then another thing you're just gonna have to do to kind of give this bed some support is you just unlatch this. It does lock in place when you do pull it all the way out. Let it come down. And then, I mean, what I would do kind of to stop your pillows from falling behind, just kind of put this back here. I mean, you don't have to, but I am gonna move this cushion too, because one thing I really do like about this as well is you don't have to climb over anybody. I feel like that's the #1 complaint I get a lot, is when there are bed situations where you have to climb over somebody in the middle of the night and disturb their sleep just to use the restroom. Here you have a nice little step, and you're able to walk around the bed, crawl back in bed without having to disturb your whoever you're camping with. So I love that. I have the bed measurements on my clipboard here just because I didn't memorize those, but I can kind of tell you guys what that measurement is. Super easy, quick and simple. 2 latches, unfold it, make sure you have that arm for support to make sure you have your stability nice and set, and then when you're ready to put it away, it duals as a second place to entertain or lounge. Whenever you're ready, again, just having it manual versus electric, you can just quickly adjust it, lift this up to unlatch, put it back down, make sure you have your little lock arm back here, latched as well, put the cushions back, and you're ready to go. sure there's somewhere else you can kind of put the cushions up front when you're trying to sleep, but just for the purpose of not having to shuffle with our cameraman, I just kind of wanted to put that back so we can also show you all the storage that is in here as well, with your little hanging rod. And then I'm actually going to show the shower next, so if we can come over here real quick, because another thing I really like about this too is, keep in mind this is where you're going to be stowing away all your clothes here. Soft close on the drawers, which is awesome. Heavy duty hinges, solid wood for our cabinetry. And then when we are ready to go ahead and take a shower, we can go ahead and open this door. It latches up here to kind of keep that in place. So you have your nice little shower here. Beautiful big skylight, which is actually the same width of the shower as well. I believe they wanted to say it was 6'4". So anybody that's a little bit taller with this headroom here, it's pushing about 6'4". But that skylight definitely helps make it feel a little bit bigger and brighter, just so it's not like a dark hole that you're entering in. And then you have this self-cleaning shower curtain. So it's not going to be that cloth one that you have to worry about folding up or messing with. It's just built in that door. And then of course, if you wanted to, you can close this door as well. But I just like how you have your shower, the door, closing this off to give you this full privacy. So you can go straight to your wardrobe, get dressed without having to like, oh no, did I bring my clothes in here? Or am I gonna have to like kick everybody out? Or I don't know, just like that little awkward interaction if you ever forget anything. And then you can go ahead and just open up the bathroom area, and it kind of conjoins all in one. Even though there's nothing to hold this door open, you still have this full access here, and keep that with this door closing. So you can go ahead and just use the restroom, get ready. You have a nice little countertop over here. I love this little ledge as well, so you can go ahead and set anything up here, the makeup or, you know, deodorant, perfumes. But if not, you have 3 cubby holes here too, which you can go ahead and just stow away any bathroom things, because it has that little ledge, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. And then you have a nice little window, which is kind of crazy that there's a mirror on both sides. I thought that was interesting, but I guess you can go ahead and just open this up so you can get some natural light in, and then you can use this mirror right here, or if you want a little bit more privacy, then you still have a mirror. So it's kind of cool. And then you have some more storage in this bathroom as well. Again, nice little LED lighting in here, as well as this LED strip here to kind of give you the best lighting possible without using that window. Another thing I loved is you do have your Dometic here, which also does have the macerator, which is huge for, I feel like, a smaller unit like this. So it will go ahead and jumble up all that stuff while you're using the toilet. So, you know, that makes it easier for dumping purposes as well. Don't want to forget this last little cubby here to kind of put any other things that you need in your bathroom. And then again, the solid surface countertops, sorry, we have winterizer, but it is pretty heavy duty here. I mean, in all honesty too, when do we ever see a sink cover in the bathroom? That's another huge thing. So it just gives you more counter space to kind of get ready when you don't need the sink. And then you have all your stuff, like your toothpaste or your toothbrush, falling in the sink. That's never fun, having to chase that out. All right. Now that we've completely went over this section in the TV, now we'll slide down over here to our fridge. Another cool thing is, if you're coming from this way, you can open the fridge. If you're coming in the door and you need to grab something, you can open it from this way. So I love having the access of either way to go ahead and open the fridge. You don't have to like put yourself all the way over here just to open it, or vice versa. And that's the same for your freezer. And then you have your microwave, which is also convection, which will just run off of your batteries, off of the inverter. So you don't have to worry about running your generator just to kind of heat up some food really quick. One thing is right above you is going to be that AC. It's the Dometic. I like how it's not directly underneath you in the bed area, but it's kind of a little bit more centrally located to kind of help keep this dining area, or, you know, bed area, or this one kind of nice and cool. And if it is a little bit louder, it's not right above you, so you're kind of hearing the hum all night, which I really like as well. Alrighty, let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. I'll let you guys rendezvous over here, and then since I did write down that bed size. I just wanted to kind of bring that over to your guys' attention if needed. Well, I thought I did anyways. Oh yes, so the sleeping area is 58 by 74 for this floor plan. All right, so you have your second TV in here with a nice little sound bar, and then you got your spice rack up here. I mean, it's a little bit deeper and longer than a spice rack, but you can go ahead and stow anythings that you need up in there. You do have a nice little latch here, because this is going to be a nice little pantry area, so it tends to get a little heavy, especially if you're on a longer trip. And then I'm just gonna go on this side so you guys can kind of really see, but it opens the whole length of the fridge, but it does automatically stop you so you're not hitting that fridge as well. So great craftsmanship there, and love that they automatically put that lock. Sliding on over, we have just some storage space, but it does have that little pump under there too. You have your little trash can, so you can't really store as much stuff in there as you think you can, but you can have the option of doing so if needed. And then we'll just continue on over with some more storage. We have 2 hooks here, perfect for a nice little rag or towel for the dishes. And then again with the soft close, very well put together cabinetry here for the drawers. And then we just have, again, that solid surface countertops here with our sink that does have a cover. This one just has a nice little cutout, which, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I don't know how. Can share your guys' opinions on that. I like how you'll be able to see the sink, or if you just needed to kind of set something in there really quick, like a fork or a spoon or something, you don't have to take this huge piece off, but it still duals as covering, so you have some extra counter space. You have your paper towel holder here, and then another rack to kind of maybe hold the sponges, soap, little soap or anything like that. We have nice little powers here for charging. Again, that blackout screen. And since we're in the kitchen area, of course, and I've been talking about the counters a few times, this is another nifty thing. And it just looks so hidden and tucked away. You don't really need to move the cushion, but I just like doing it because I don't want to make a dent in the cushion. But you have extra counter space here, which is right next to your cooktop. So if you needed to go ahead and prep anything or cut anything, you have this whole dedicated area. And then you can go ahead and move the pot and pan over here to your propane burner. Again, that dual, they are both the same size as well, which makes it really nice. And I love kind of the distance. It's not right up here next to you, kind of gives you some working area as well. So it's not right in the middle of the counter. I don't know if that's really making sense, but I really enjoy that, because if you're wearing a sweater and it kind of dangles over, it kind of gets in your way. So just another weird quirky thing that I enjoyed. 2 more storage areas up here, and then you just have this nice little cutout again with the ledge, so you can go ahead and stow any necessities up there without having to worry about taking them out before you're going somewhere to travel. But some things I did just want to point out as well, as far as just the whole construction. I was kind of deep diving a little bit into a few things here. So you have the vacuum bonded aluminum frame insulated contoured sidewalls with the fiberglass exterior. So pretty much everything all around your roof, your sidewalls, and then even your flooring is also insulated. So that's going to help for those colder months, and just also all construction and wear and tear driving this down the road. Just having that solid foundation makes it worth it in an investment like this. So I was pleasantly surprised to kind of see and educate myself, just because we're not a leisure travel van manufacturer. We only get them in on trade, so I only get to tinker with them every so often. But super thumbs up. Great coach for 2021. It was really well taken care of. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to do another video walkthrough with you guys, take some closer up pictures. But as far as walking around it right now, I haven't noticed any major damages or anything that put a little bit of like, oh, that's not so good, a little bad taste in my mouth. All in all around, it has been a great coach so far. All right, let's go ahead and jump up here, turn on that chassis just so I can verify that mileage for you. I guess the one downfall is it's not a push start if you really like push start, but I feel like the price would make up for that. All right, our hood is ajar, so it's gonna yell at me for a second. And then the mileage did just show up and it went away. Let's see here. Perfect. Flip through this menu. It does have driver assist. That's just fuel economy. We got our compass. Alrighty. All right, so yeah, it's 45,658,000 miles, and that is of today. So just a little tit for tat there. We have our nice little touchscreen. Whoops, sorry, I'll turn down that radio. You can go ahead and add your phone if needed. You have a built-in navigation, also apps, Sirius XM, and then you can go ahead and go into the settings. Down below here, we just have our heating and cooling, and then we have our hazard lights, a few cup holders, and then you do have your nice little WeatherTech mats that the previous customer already had in here. But again, if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'd be happy to help you guys out. You can reach me at the information below, which is 970-388-7937. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.